Welcome to Graham Kerr's Kitchen. It's really two programs in one. This is a series that appeals to your creative side. Food that is sumptuous stuff. How could that be? This is a program about people who want to eat healthy and reduce calories. Actually, it's about food with an aromatic quality that fills the nose. Oh, sure. But it's also about keeping my arteries clean by reducing fat. But it doesn't mean a thing if the food isn't rich and colorful. Maximize the flavor. Okay, but I must have healthy food that I can cook in minutes. I must minimize the risk. So welcome to Graham Kerr's Kitchen, where we get our heads together just for you. Hey, welcome back. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what, this is about 15 programs in one. This is one of those synergistic things where somebody comes along with great food ideas, and we take one of my little basic springboarding concepts, put the two together, and come up with something radically different. And this is really radically different, taking Latin American food and Italian food and blending the two together. Quite fun. I'll tell you how it actually came about. We have individual food preference sheets, and we send these out, and we send out 10,000 of these. This is what one looks like when it's fully filled up. But what I do an extraction from the main list of looking for something that I can sort of hone in on. And in this case, Judith Isaac is the one that I honed in on. And these are a few of her favorite things. But first of all, I'll tell you about her. She's married, she's got a couple of children. She's an ex-school teacher, and she was a laboratory microbiologist. So watch it. Isn't that right, Judith? Her mother was all-American Virginian, father Norwegian, first generation, and her husband has some Syrian ancestry in his background, which makes their family a tremendously aromatic place in which to live. As a matter of fact, rather interesting, son, is that right, Judith, 6'5"? That's awfully big. I look up to him. And daughter, vegetarian. Boy, I mean, if you put all those together, that is an intriguing family to feed. I understand we actually did it with this dish. And these are your food that you like. Italian cooking, baking, stir-frying, pasta in various kinds, cayenne and cumin. I thought, oh, good girl, isn't that neat? I mean, that's wonderful. Sorry about the girl stuff. Beans, chicken, fish, tomatoes, strawberries. I didn't know how to put the strawberries in it, but, you know, hey, afterwards. Always bowl of fruit at home. I think that's a thrill. We do the same thing. Broccoli, eat your heart out, Bush. Potatoes, carrots. Yes, we could do that. And a terrific treatise, when we finally got together on this one, on powdered milk and how to use it to be able to get white, glistening dishes. By the way, I really appreciated that, Judith. I'm going to fiddle with that myself. Okay? Now, let's put all of this together in a brand new dish that nobody has ever seen before. All right, come through with me. I'll show you how it's done. Okay, now, first of all, the springboard. We're going to look at something quickly so that you could use that always, and you can use it with food of your favorite foods, you know, things that you really like yourself. Now, look at this. This is about pasta. Now, pasta can either be tortellini, which is like a navel, which, you know, we'll leave alone, and a little bow tie, radiatori. This one holds a terrific amount of gravy when it's cooked. And these, which we're going to use today, large shells. Now, there are dozens of different shapes. But in the large shell one, these come in 4 of these shells would be to a portion, okay? And so we've got 4 4s to 16 of these. And you always, no matter what the pasta is, keep the water boiling vigorously first. Get a good deal of salt in it, so it goes out, well, a good deal, about a teaspoonful of salt, about that much. Drop them in. And whether it's tagliatelle or the special little shapes, whatever, disturb them a little bit. I like to say, ha! Like this. No, well, you know what I'm like. So they're disturbed, and you place the lid on the top, and then they come to the boil quickly. From the moment that it comes back to the boil, you time it. About 10 minutes for these to get them ready to be cooked in a baking fashion. You'll understand that a bit better later on. But about 11 to 12 minutes, basically, for most of those. All right, now, when it's actually cooked, and these are cooked here, then immediately, and set it on a timer, so bring like this, and you're ready, then pour out the water, and the pasta and drain it. Never, never rinse it. You might have heard sometime rinse it or put it in ice cold water. I used to say that once upon a time. Bad boy. Anyway, here is where they're just perfect. Now, I just want to take one of those out. Thanks very much. I'm just winding up for another reason. And here we have a steaming piece of pasta. Now, pasta must always be to suit the tooth. When you've actually got it done here, put it into your mouth, and let the teeth just come down on top of it. If it resists just slightly, that's al dente, means to suit the tooth. Perfect. One little other tip with this. Here is the amount of oil that is customarily used in good Italian dishes for 4 people. Now that's 800 calories worth of oil, about 13 grams of fat per head. Now, an alternative to that could be this, which is a little stock with some arrowroot in it. Finely made stock, little drop of arrowroot. And if you'll notice, you get exactly the same amount of glycerin to that pasta as you do from the oil. So the question is, the appearance is the same, and you've even got a different flavor. And hey, 13 grams to less than 1 gram begins to make sense, doesn't it? Okay, tell you what, let's get those ingredients, which belong to Judith, and let's see what's on the menu.
Today on Graham Kerr's Kitchen, Latin American pasta shells marinara. Colorful pasta shells nested on cardamom-seasoned spinach with sauce marinara.
Okay, Judith, well, there's our dish on the menu. Now let's see if we can put it all together, get it right. All right, first of all, we're going to make the marinara sauce. So, 2 squirts, that's a teaspoonful of oil in the bottom there. Really don't need much more than that. And just 1/3 of a cup of chopped onion, first of all. And then just equal quantities, always. This really makes the classic, of celery, cut just about the same size. As you'll see, there's a good reason for making each piece and each cut exactly identical, if we possibly can. Just fry it all together, and immediately that gorgeous scent of the onion starts to burst off it. But then no marinara would ever be complete with 2 fat, lovely cloves of garlic. There, bang. And just chop it through. And always, please, always, just make it a little rule in your life. Never put that garlic in first, but that always comes in second. And then it doesn't scorch. There's nothing quite so nasty as partly scorched garlic. All right, so that's going in too. Now we can pull that to the side a bit. That pan's rather hot, so just pull it to the side and let it sweat off just a bit. Now, into there goes the tomato. Now, hey, what's this? Most everybody knows that's a Roma tomato. Well, guess what? Boom, it's gone. Yes, it's been replaced. Viva Italia is the new hybrid, actually, to replace that. It's slightly chunkier, and it's much sweeter. You can actually enjoy eating it. And the skin comes off nicely. Look for it. It's a brand new hybrid. And I got this on a press clipping just today, and so I can tell you about it right now. So it's probably a little old, but still. So press that together. Now what I do is I skin the tomato. All right? You know, you blanch it and take the skin off. And then I put it in one of these Ziploc bags, okay? And press it out so that I haven't chopped it so much as I have sort of mushed it all up. And now I can just take it. I haven't made a mess all over the board or anything else, and just drop that all down into the pan. Now, it really works well this way. And if you don't want to fiddle around with the skin, I suppose you can get the ones already done in a can. But oh, there's something gorgeous about dealing with fresh food. So place that on there. Get all the little pieces down from around the outside. Stir it all in. And now's the time for that incomparable of all herbs in a marinara. The oregano, if you will, but oregano for me, that's the way I talk. And this little fella here, now this is vulgare hirtum, H-I-R-T-U-M. You remember that? You know, don't be vulgar and tread on your herbs or you'll hurt 'em, all right? Hurt 'em. And if you can remember that, ask for that. It actually blossoms in a little white blossom. Take 3 hanks of that stuff, about that much there, or you can use the dried stuff if you must, and just lay that in on the top. It has a pungent, wonderful smell. Oregano means oros ganos, which means the oil of the mountains, or the joy of the mountains. And it's really delicious. So press that into the top, a little bit of salt, about 1/8 of a teaspoonful of salt over the top, and some freshly ground black pepper, always much better than opening a little tin. And it's done. Put the lid on the top, dial it back so that it's just barely simmering, and you know what you got? This. Just after 15 minutes, it looks exactly like that one. Now, just take this and with a sieve, clean out the pot, just drop it in there like so. And now this, I've been dying to show you this one. Does this look like a sock darner? Do you remember in the old days when people used to darn socks? I asked Trina a little while ago if she darned my socks. She said she doesn't give a darn. And so you just put this into the sock like this, and then you darn it. Now, that sounds insanitary. This hasn't been used for socks. But this is for this purpose. You dive it underneath, and look at this. It sinks into the sauce, and then you can either press it hard and get it all through for a sieved sauce, which, by the way, doesn't work as well with a food processor because it gets all the fibers in as well. Or in this case, I just want to be able to get the sauce through into the bottom and to be able to have this mush in the top. I'll show you what we do with that in just a moment. Okay, right. Now, here is the refried bean. This is the Latin American part of the whole thing. And this is where it gets really exciting. Never grab a hold of the top. 1, 2, just like that. Just 2 little spurts of oil into the bottom. And then you can take this, which is 4 ounces of finely chopped onion. All right? And they go in on top of the oil. And then this one, have you seen this one, by the way? This is a shiitake mushroom. It's a funny sounding name, but it's got a leathery dark brown top and nice white inside. And it has a lovely flavor to it. A little bit more expensive than ordinary mushrooms, but they're being cultivated now. 4 ounces of those. Put those on the top. You know why I like them? They've got a kind of slippery, that's not the right word, smooth, delicate, luscious mouthfeel to them. And those can help the beans to feel as if they've got a whole bunch of fat in them when they really don't. Just 1 teaspoonful. All right, so we just get those frying for about 5 minutes on there. And then over here. Now, these are white beans. Now, for convenience sake, I got a can of white beans which are low sodium and have taken out 1 cup of those. And I've got another cup separated over there. And this is the juice that comes from the can of beans. So put it on the top. If you're a purist, you can do your own beans. It takes rather a long time, but you can, put them in a pressure cooker as well if you want to do it that way. Okay, let's run it. Now this takes about 30 seconds because they're already cooked. And what we're doing is we're getting it up to that kind of refried bean feeling about it. Quite smooth and lovely mouthfeel, to it. Whenever you want to sort of reduce fat, beans are a terrific way of actually being able to do that. Lift the little beater off the top and come back over here. Now let's assume that these have been going for 5 minutes at this stage. What you do is then you take that bean mix and you just drop it into the pan, stir it up together. Now normally this would be full of lard. And I mean, look, come on, I understand it is just delicious. And I've had refried beans in many parts of the world, especially in Latin America, that have been quite delicious. I love it when it goes crispy, crunchy brown on the outside, and that it has a sort of terrific way of going on. So, you see how this looks now at the moment? Well, compare that right across to this one here. This one has been cooking about 10 minutes. And you see here, see right on the edge, this is perfect. See how crispy and crunchy and brown that's gone? Just like the original. See how it's stirring up into there? See it? Underneath there? See, as I turn it? That's just perfect. That's exactly how it should go. By messing that all up together, you have darkened, deepened, the texture of it is superb. Now, take that reserved part of the beans that you had before, dump those on, because now we're aiming for texture. So we've got the very fine amount. Just tease those in. Then, the marinara sauce and the stuff which ordinarily would be thrown away perhaps, is now dumped on the top. Now I've taken out most of the herbs. You see here, I took those out just before, but there's one that's lurking there. Oh. Gosh, that's nice. Mother watches. And then simply stir that in. Now what you've got is the most incredible combination. This is literally Latin America and Italy combining in one pot. Little bit of cayenne pepper, just to give it a touch of the old Creole torpedo, and then 1/4 teaspoonful full of ground cumin. Cumin is a marvelous herb, spice if you will, to put where you've got beans. There's something peculiar and wonderful about that. It smells delicious. Now that's the filling for the pasta shells. Now let me show you what that looks like. Over here, I've got pasta shells stuck in a little bit of marinara sauce underneath. Oh, just one last thing. You need just a little bit of lemon juice in there. It's a bright note, and it's very smooth, but by that kind of, you know, you've got something go, like this. So what you do is you put lemon juice in, it goes, bing, like that, you see. There's something about the senses when you eat it and you think, wow, you don't quite know what that is. It's like good perfume. All right, here then is a spoon. Here is the pasta shell opened up, the one that was cooked for that period of time. We just stir in the lemon juice and then just drop that into the middle. So you've stuffed that now with the refried beans and that marinara, and you pop that down. I put a little marinara sauce on the bottom first of all. You should put the sauce in first, but I didn't want to spend all day doing that. And then put the rest of that sauce over the top, see, so that it comes up about half full and you're drenching them back and forth. Good. Take a piece of foil, and we always put the foil dull side up so it doesn't upset you. I mean, look. I look as if I've been lost at sea and looking for an airplane. So you just put that over the top, 350 degrees Fahrenheit, bung it in the oven, 180 degrees centigrade. You might wonder why I always do it at that temperature, because I can remember it's 180 degrees centigrade. And actually it doesn't, it's good temperature. Then take out the one which has been done, and half an hour is as long as it needs to be as you rustle the family together. Hot plates, please. And now, just before we start this up, I need to, oh no, that's that one. You'd think I'd get used to which dial to dial, wouldn't you, by now? Let me see how hot that is. That's okay. I want to put some lemon juice on top of just 2 tablespoonsful of lemon juice and, over spinach, all right? And then, when it's damp, half a teaspoonful of cardamom. How about that? That's if you go to an Indian restaurant, they'll give you that as a breath mint when you leave, and little cardamom seeds. Really terrific stuff. Now, you simply take this and you lift it up and drop it down into that skillet with tall shoulders. I put my stack of steam on the top, and so that just manages to wilt that a little bit as you rip the top off here and get down to serving it. This is great, you know. This is so how do you stay slim? Aerobic, and this is doing dishes like this. All right, now I've got that just about ready to do, but I can't get it out until it's like steam. I've got. Oh, I tell you what. Look, just when I said, just steam. Oh, look, just one tap and it did it. Look at this. And when you lift the lid, you will smell how wonderful that is. Now, I can't use all of it all at once, but I just want one good. Oh, the cardamom and the lemon is just whizzing up from that. It's fabulous. Put a nice hank of this onto the plate, and then take each of these and just lay those right on top. 1, 2. Have you never noticed when you go to a restaurant, everything is so delicately done, they can't be in a rush. And then a tablespoonful of the Parmesan cheese over the top. And if you can fiddle around then underneath here, this sauce will cook right down, but you can put a good drop of the sauce in the middle there, just to sort of cover it up like the spokes of a wheel. How about that? Absolutely nothing to it, really. Just a little drop more thing on there. And if I had my way, and why not, just a fresh black pepper just over the plate. It just simply says something like, well done. Oh, hi. Oh, gosh, that's a hot plate. Always serve food on a hot plate. I don't have a towel. So come on, quickly, let's move. Right, let's see. Oh, hi. Little fast service there. Here we're going to compare with the classic. This is really a cannelloni, but with spinach at the same time, with the fresh marinara and with a little mozzarella cheese over the top. Very standard. And there's our little dish that we've been doing right now. Okay, let's compare the two, see what the numbers look like. 470 is the calorie value, down quite a bit from 624. Look, 41, that's 2/3 of a day of fat there, down to 5 only. That's terrific stuff. Saturated fat was 22 in this one, is now down to 1. That's the cheese in it. Calories from fat, 59%, down to only 10%. That's possibility there for reversal from a heart problem. I mean, this is good stuff. Cholesterol, 183, down to 2. Whoopee! Sodium, 1190, down to 485, which is good stuff, and carbohydrate is at 87. I like those numbers. Those are fun numbers. Well done. That's to the computer. And now, squash one. It's plump and says all kinds of nice things. Well, you don't know whether to say ole or whatever. I mean, there's such a mixture of nationalities there. And it tingles, and the cardamom and the spinach really got to have a go at this one. This is just like using pasta. If you've never used pasta before, just think of the techniques there, right? And then think of the food that you love. Just fill in the food preference sheet in the book, and then do the bounce off the technique into your own circumstances, just for the people that you love, okay? And I know when you really love someone and care for them, you can be as creative as all get out. It's absolutely amazing. It's called springboarding. Now, let's assume for a moment that you're really busy, all right? And that you've come home and you've had one of those kind of days. You dropped by the store and you've got some angel hair pasta because you've heard about it from me or you knew about it. I have a sneaking suspicion that angel's hair is a little bit finer than this one. But you take a whole package like this. Water is vigorously boiling. You've got about 1/8 of a teaspoonful of salt in that, or perhaps even more. And you just drop that in and you start timing it the moment that it actually hits the water. Okay, so it hits the water there, and guess what? It takes 60 seconds. Now put the lid on the top so that you can get that recovery of heat well. And by the way, if you've got gas or electricity, I've heard it said, haven't timed it, that actually you get a recharge of electricity quicker than you do off gas. Keep those letters and cards rolling in. Now, what you do is you make twice the amount of the marinara sauce, or even 3 times or 4 times if you like. Put it into a little package like this, date it, you know, make sure that it's got its name on it. Take it out, it's got all the vegetables in it, put it into the pot and heat this up. It doesn't take more than 2 or 3 minutes, and this is only going to be taking a minute. The moment that it comes up to the boil, lift the lid off because you don't want pasta water all over the stove. And then get ready a lovely crusty loaf of bread. Italian bread is just delicious. And then some, just a great fresh salad and a good vinaigrette there. And really? 60 seconds already? Oh, my goodness, you couldn't wish for better than that, could you? Just saving it from boiling over. And then take this pasta and pour it into the colander like we did before, with a bowl underneath it. Look, it's alive, look. Anyway, just simply sieve it like that, never rinse it. The pasta is ready in only 1 minute. And you have heated up the bowl which you intend to serve it in at the same time. Now you may have a beautiful looking bowl. And what you do is you take the hot marinara sauce and you drop that down into the bowl like so. Now, into that you could put, roasted pimento if you like, little black peppers, clams, prawns, shiitake mushrooms, all kinds of things could drop into that, or just serve it au naturel, you know, vegetable one. Then take the pasta and just shoot the pasta into the top, and then toss the pasta and the sauce together. Now, really, I mean, come on, what could be easier than that? You're absolutely shot flat to the winds. You haven't eaten, you didn't have a good breakfast, you didn't have a good lunch, but now you are going to have yourself supper. The little bit of cheese on the top, and you can say to yourself, this is not so bad, this life. God bless. And just a quick PS for Judith and the family, just before I wash up. Thanks awfully, you lot, especially all of you liking that dish. That's neat.